3 crypto projects that I am buying right now in January 2024. I am anticipating some significant upside in the next few months from these coins based on what I'm seeing in the on-chain data and information about the narratives right now surrounding these 3 coins. These coins have had strong autumns, but have recently pulled back to incredible buying opportunities, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly prices I've been buying and will be continuing to buy at, as well as my anticipated price predictions for these 3 key tokens. So do me a favor, hit that like button and let's find out what they are. Now guys, before you click ahead and you're like, tell me what the coins are, I want to buy them now. Chill, cool your jets. We need to find out something more important first. We right now are in a very interesting part of the cycle. This particular picture shows us the red bottoms, and each of these cycle lows comes around 3 years and 11 months away from the last one, okay? Just under 4 years each time. And that's really important because the cycle bottoms indicate that we have got some good time before the next cycle bottom comes in. So while many people right now are kind of being a bit impatient and scared and running around, we are in this yellow phase, which is speculator investor stage. Stage 1, superior investor, which I think most of you were investing at the bottom of the market. Now, apart from what happened in the last market cycle because of that Black Swan event, COVID event, mostly from here it's sort of sideways and up a bit. But unfortunately, we've been spoiled. At the end of last year, we saw big gains in some of the front runners. This caused us to think that the bull market was on, and then suddenly it cools off and we're like, I don't give a shit about crypto anymore. And you go back to something else that gives you more of that dopamine hit, just being like a crypto junkie who likes to go and bet on like shitty meme coins and stuff like that. But if you can stay alert and stay awake right now, guys, this is where the best opportunities are. And they're so easy to find when the markets are sitting like they are right now. Remember, the market flows in different stages. This very interesting tweet from HMalvia9 tells us a few things, okay? Half the shitcoin season in the end, okay? He thinks that we're in this disbelief rally, this phase 2 of the market, which I'm inclined to agree with him on, where degens start to find great on-chain trades again. I think we're in the right place. Market makers start to mess around with centralized exchanges, and then the front runners start to get out ahead. Now, in the next phase, you'll start to see the narratives, the key narratives take off. Now, in November, December, we got this kind of idea that altcoin season was here. I don't think altcoin season's arrived yet. We haven't really seen much of a push in Ethereum, although it's starting to take place. Okay, I know, you can't hold it anymore. What's the first project? Well, guys, Thorchain, RUNE. Now, hold your horses. Many people are like, yeah, I've heard of it. Okay, whatever. The reason I'm talking about it is something very important, and I recommend just being patient with me because this is in a great buying position right now. It's almost the perfect setup from a chart perspective, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Now, market cap's at $1.5 billion, and lots of people are like, oh, well, that's never going to do like 100x. Guys, you shouldn't be in this for 100x anyway. Saw my video the other day, you'll realize that we go through different cycles and we should be looking and staying agile outside of our core kind of Ethereums, Bitcoins, Solanas maybe, chain links, our core portfolio. Stay flexible on the outside and make the most of different narrative moves. Thorchain, decentralized exchange, offers liquidity pool farming, so many other things. Now, decentralized exchanges are one of the key narratives that I think are going to see significant growth during this bull market. Why? Well, if you are trying to use centralized exchanges right now, and you were in the last bull market, and now you're looking at this one, it's a nightmare, okay? You have to do KYC, eventually after like 9 or 10 days and 3 or 4 different phone calls to verify that you are who you say you are, eventually your funds get released to you. It's a pain in the ass. You then have someone else breathing down your neck for taxes and all this other drama that people don't like to deal with. People will move from centralized exchanges to decentralized exchanges. All of the proper like degen traders don't really use centralized exchanges. They're all on dexes because they want to be under the radar. And as more people become more savvy, they will move from the centralized exchanges onto dexes. This is very positive for dexes because a lot of these dexes have daily volumes in like less than like $1 billion. Binance, etc., has like daily trading volumes of like $40 to $50 billion. Just imagine the potential some of these decentralized exchanges have if some of that volume starts to go off to the dexes. See what I mean? So what am I seeing on Thorchain that's exciting? Well, let's go across to DeFiLlama.com, free website. Actually, very, very good website. Tons of stuff on here, guys. And yeah, spend some time getting to know it, get your feel around in it. You can see some stuff. Thorchain RUNE. Now, this was the last bull market, okay? The pink line shows us the market cap. Market cap right now sits down here after a bit of a cool off. But look at the volume. Look at this token volume, which is this green line. Look at the increase that's going on with Thorchain right now. That is crazy, crazy. to see this at the same time as this is happening. So now what we got? We've got a good narrative around the right time, because I think the narratives are going to start to pull in and become more important as we move into the next phase of this market cycle. We've got a platform that's starting to get more users all the time, draining the supply, and that's all very good and exciting as well. Once buyers start to enter the space, this is also very positive. Now, I've used other tools on Thorchain as well, and also identified that there is some smart money accumulating. I will show you how that works using one of the other coins later, just for the sake of variety. Okay guys, so as we see on this chart, RUNE has had a good pullback recently. Now, a lot of people want to get in down the very bottom. Remember, this was the ultimate, like, absolute savvy alpha investors, okay, who've been buying in down here. And if you were subscribed to the channel, then hopefully you would have been one of those. But most people, if you didn't get in, remember, we are still very early. We're not too late. A lot of these projects are still very early and we'll see good growth. But what we've seen, what's great to see, is a bit of a cool off in some of these prices, okay? Because remember, it was very hot. The market is very hot from October to like November. And some of those projects came up a bit too quickly and needed to cool off. Now look at what happened. We established a, guess what, buy zone. And how do we know it's a buy zone? Well, I've talked about this before. On the way up, let's dip into a 4-hour chart. On the way up, we can see something significant. We see this happen. We get a nice little sideways bit of dip. We then rocket out of there. We come back in. It fills up again. You can see it wicks down into this box. It wicks down, carries on. It comes down near here. It doesn't get near here again. Now, as the market cools off, we can draw ourselves a box across here. We could draw one across here if we wanted, one across here. And then eventually you see it get back down into this space. Now combine that with this, which is a descending channel, you should be able to see quite clearly, and then notice that it bounces again from this green zone. This together does tell us a very strong indication that we will likely see a push like this take place. Currently it's $4.6, and I've been buying over the last day or so in this green box. Very simple for me, okay? I like the project, I think it's going to do well, and I got in at a price that I'm quite happy for. And yes, it would have been nice to get in August, back at 90 cents. But we're not in August anymore. We're now in January, so we have to go for something else. So here's my anticipated move. I think within a short space of time, we could very easily return back to those recent highs that we saw at the end of last year, 54%. But going forward, I think RUNE could go well beyond its previous all-time high, based on the transactional volume that's going on chain right now. I think it's possible to see something like a 2x beyond that previous high, somewhere towards sort of the $40, $42 mark, which would be around a 9, maybe even a 10x. And you're like, I don't care about that. Well, remember, we're looking for moves in the next month or so. This is a very strongly positioned token that I think will see that growth. I'm not saying you buy this and hold it for life. I say that I'm just in this because I want to hold it for maybe a 3 or a 4x and then take my profits and move elsewhere. And I know that scares people. If you want to hold it forever, be my guest. But remember, these narratives change all the time. Back in December, we had meme coins. Everyone was talking about meme coins. Alex Becker was back on YouTube talking about GameFi. Suddenly he's disappeared again and GameFi's gone dead. But remember, it's really quite simple. If we follow the narratives and we follow the data, then you can get ahead. Now, there's another narrative that I really wanted exposure to, and it is a BRC20. Unfortunately, I was a bit late on this particular narrative back at the end of last month, but I didn't FOMO in. I held my horses and waited, and eventually we found ourselves in a position where we're starting to see some cool off. Now, I sent this out in the League Telegram, which you can see a couple of days ago when the price was sitting down here at around 16.9 cents. And since then, which was pretty much yesterday, you can see we're up 38%. So if you want to get into that VIP league and get the calls, literally days before I announce them on the channel and days before they start to pump, then you just get into the VIP league, which is linked down below in the description. We have live Zoom calls each week. We now also have a group of 7 crypto experts, carefully selected, who've all made between 6 and 7 figures in cryptocurrency, who are contributing to this alpha chat all the time. And this is creating a really high value, less noise, important environment that you should get into, guys. Go and find out more. It's linked down below in the description if you want to secure the current price, because it's going to increase by 50% in the next couple of weeks. Now, yes, MUBI is on the move, but I still think that we have a good opportunity here. Now, what is it? Well, Multibit Bridge, a BRC20 crypto coin. Now, you've probably heard of BRC20. BRC20, basically things like ordinals, inscriptions on the Bitcoin blockchain, which weirdly is something that Bitcoin maxis have started to get behind and push. It's been a huge narrative earlier on last year in parts of Asia, and then eventually it kind of trickled around the rest of the world, and then we started to see huge explosions in the prices. projects, and I'll tell you how I came across Multibit in just a moment. But the mission of Multibit Bridge is to serve the Bitcoin ecosystem, enabling value interoperability with other networks through cross-chain methods, expand the possibilities for users to operate economic behaviors, and enable them to easily transfer BRC20 tokens to other networks. Big mouthful. Okay, so interoperable, moving cross-chain, allowing BRC20 tokens to be used across different chains. These might be things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, etc. Now, Multibit offers a variety of different factors on this BRC20 decentralized ecosystem, and there is a huge amount of information available on the website. So go and check out multibit.exchange if you want to learn more about this project. And you're like, well, how did you find out about it? Well, guys, no, before you say it's not a sponsored video. None of these projects sponsor me today, but I actually used Nansen, who also didn't sponsor me, and unfortunately is kind of an expensive app. And you can either start for free, and it has actually got some features available for free, or you can use the paid version, which I do use. Now, there are other free ways to do this, which I've used before on other videos, and if you want to see various other tools and things I use all the time on every video I make, pretty much, then make sure you subscribe, guys, okay? Because I'm always updating you on different ones. As well as that, guys, I'm literally about to hit 100,000 subscribers. As soon as I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away some crypto prizes. I'll be selecting 5 winners to win 100 USD in the cryptocurrency of their choice. Now, all you need to do to enter that is simply, guys, go and click on the subscribe button down below, hit the like button while you're at it, and leave in the comments down below a coin that you want $100 off. And just write ICP, Solana, whatever it is. And as well as that, make sure you follow me over on X or Twitter, because that's where I'll announce the winners when I hit that 100,000, which hopefully should be within the next 5 to 10 days. Okay, so Nansen looks like a very tricky dashboard with loads of stuff going on, and there is a lot going on, and it is a little bit tricky to navigate. But effectively, I just clicked on it, you click on home, and you can see it gives you these signals. Now, I'm not really a big fan of crypto signals, but you can see it gives some interesting ones, smart money token flows, and all these different bits and pieces. Smart money was accumulating NKI. Okay, let's go and look at what happened to NKI. And you can see NKI started to get accumulated down here, it starts to grow. Now then what I did is I went and checked out a few of the wallets that I've been following over on Nansen. Now you can see that I've got this one called womengT.eth, okay? 55k balance, nothing too enormous, but you can see it's been making some really good solid trades over the past few months. And then this guy started to accumulate MUBI. Every time it's been dipping lower, he's been accumulating a MUBI. I was like, what on earth is MUBI? So I clicked on it, and then I started to see some very interesting things unfold. I started to pay attention to see that while the price was starting to decrease, some big buyers were coming in, and suddenly we see a shift in the transactions that are happening on chain right here. We then started to see the volume slowly dip against the price, which you can see happened around here just before that big pump, and then started to happen again. That's very key, and if you can pay attention to these metrics, actually it was reasonably easy and clear. Now, as I mentioned on the previous one, when we got these buy zones, you can see that once the price gets higher and higher, you're looking for buy zones wherever we see a bit of sideways action. And if it falls below that previous buy zone and previous buy zone, eventually it's going to find a buy zone where it sticks. Here we get that nice sideways action, big pump. We then come down, semi kind of confirm it, and then we get this first big confirmation. We then put in this, which is an ascending triangle with higher lows coming in, and then we then get a good opportunity to be able to get in where this downward channel breaks and form. This is almost the perfect chart pattern. You put that together with the fact that big money's accumulating in a project that's narrative is very hot for this year potentially, and it's all very straightforward, guys. I wasn't anticipating to see it move quite as aggressively as that, but from now on I will be paying way more attention to Nansen and putting in a lot more work. And there is a free version of Nansen, guys, so make sure you go and check that out as well. Now, last but not least, a project that I mentioned back in the autumn called Autonolas, or OLAS. Now, what is Autonolas? Well, effectively, guys, it's a project that's creating some very cool tech, allowing developers to build decentralized applications that are able to take their own actions, because they are ultimately AI decentralized applications. So it's a toolkit for decentralized application developers. And as the name would suggest, these projects are auto. They run without having to have people coming in and taking part in their day-to-day running. As we move through this year, AI is going to be a huge narrative. I think you'll understand this, particularly as you see a massive demand coming in for more and more AI type tools. Autonolas enables people to build these tools directly on chain, and this is also really important for overall security. Now, there's been some recent updates that have happened for Autonolas as well in just the last few days they have now achieved another milestone, building another successful project onto Solana. This makes for 2 projects in the last month alone. Also, at the end of last year, you can go and check this out on June.com as well. Under Adrian OX, we can see that Autonolas is gaining adoption all the time. Look at the number of transactions that are suddenly just exploding onto June.com, that are suddenly exploding on Autonolas. Okay, a project that no one's really talking about or really even heard of, suddenly getting crazy numbers of transactions. And that's not just individuals like you and me going and buying the token, because that would indicate that the price would be shoving up aggressively, which it hasn't really been. Now, it indicates more and more people interacting with this on-chain and building applications, etc. We're betting on projects that are actually going to be used and built on. That's where the key lies to all of this. Not just how loud someone shouts about it in a Telegram group or anything like that. So go and check out autonolas.network. All of these projects right now and all of this data I've shared with you shouldn't just be taken and just go and run away and go and buy something, okay? You need to understand what I've kind of said here, maybe, and go and do some of the research that I've been talking about yourself. Now, obviously, there's a lot more research you can do into these projects, really deep dive, understand what they do, make sure you understand who their team is, make sure you understand what those like transactions and stuff really mean. Go and use some of these tools I've been talking about. Every time you're finding a new project, just because some bloke or, whoever in a group told you about it, make sure you go and understand what it is. If you run back to me or someone else because you invested in a project and like tomorrow it's down 20 or 30%, that person doesn't give a shit. They don't owe you anything. No one held a gun to your head. You invested off of your own back, and that's the attitude you need to have. If you have a blame culture with crypto, it's going to chew you up and shit you out the back end, okay? And you don't want to be that, guys, okay? Make sure you are doing the work yourself and understanding, okay? I'm just giving you information to make sure you go and look yourself and understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about. And hey ho, if it's too complicated and you don't really understand it, then maybe don't get involved or use an... Now I know a lot of you might be just using Coinbase and being like, well, I don't know how to find these coins on Coinbase. Well, there is an exchange that has more coins pretty much than any other out there, and it's MEXC. Link down below in the description is MEXC with a bonus link where you can get a bonus for up to $1,000 as a complete newbie. You'll also get some of the lowest fees across crypto. Now, this exchange offers over 4,000 different tokens, and if you transfer crypto in from another exchange, then you don't need to use a KYC, particularly if you use a NordVPN. Now, a NordVPN allows you to get an IP address in a different country. I'm sat in the UK right now, but if I can't access a website that's banned in the UK, for example, OrcaSwap on Solana, then maybe I could move myself to Belgium or France where it is allowed, and then I could go and access that particular exchange. Or MEXC, you could go and access the exchange, but also more importantly, it actually protects you while you're surfing and trading online. It's double encrypted, which means no one can spy on what you're doing and no one can go and hack your trades and things like that. It's the best way to stay safe while trading crypto, and you will get 4 months free if you go through my link down below in the description, and then after that it costs like $2.50 per month, which is less than a cup of coffee. So guys, if you are serious about crypto trading, this is an essential tool. It's the best one that I've ever heard of. It's the one I use every single day, and I use MEXC every single day as well. These two tools together are phenomenal. Also throw in a hardware wallet on top of that, and you have your ultimate winner. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video today. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're new, go and check out the Telegram group down below. It's absolutely free, guys. Get into that Telegram group, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.